Welcome. Healing meditation. You got music for healing meditation just before we go into it? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well done.
Oh no.
We were just wondering who was going to sit at the front and Paul wouldn't. Oh, you just cheer us on. That's all that matters. We're on the camera. Oh God.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And welcome to your family gathering time. As you may or may not be aware, today is all about community, bringing the church family together in and through brother and sisterhood. So it's such a joy to have these different types of meetings and services here in the church, not just sticking to one format every week, week in, week out. It's all about people participating, it's all about bringing us together, it's all about making us stronger and more secure where we are in this world today. So thank you for joining us here. Big welcome too to wonderful people online. If you're watching and thinking, what is he doing? Has he lost his marbles? Well, probably yes. Probably yes. But while I've lost my marbles, I do try to stay in the right energy. So welcome and join in. I know we've got a wonderful church family online, both home and abroad. This is your time to come together. And thank you to Pauline too, who will be the online moderator for today. Lovely Sue Townsend.
Thank you, Laurie.
Over to you, darling.
Thank you for a lovely welcome to everybody, and it's so wonderful that we're here in this amazing community. You can just feel the brilliant energy here, and I know there'll be a good energy online because of many people exchange little messages and that, so welcome from me too. If you'd all like to go into your own quiet space now, and we'll just open with a prayer. Thank you. Divine and gracious Spirit, we thank you for bringing us all here together today in our community, here within the church and also online. We ask for your protection and we ask for your blessings. We ask for healing to be sent out across the world where it is needed most. For all those who are on beds of sickness, for anyone who is grieving, for anyone who is caught up in conflict or turmoil, and also our thoughts go out to those who are caught up in the tsunami that is a result of undersea volcanic eruption over the last day or two. Our hearts go out to them. Our hearts also go out to all those who are displaced and are put in the position of being refugees and not knowing where to go and where they'll end up, what will happen, and who have lost everything. We ask for blessings for those who are homeless and for those who are lost and in need of hope. We ask for healing for the earth and for the animal kingdom, and for all beings. And may we all cultivate peace within our hearts. We ask for your guidance, and we ask for your compassion and love. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. No.
And now this is time where we have some healing and a meditation that we just have a small bit of music to play for a short time. But everybody can send out healing. It's innate within each and every one of us. If we just go about our daily lives and we smile, we offer a helping hand, just by being who we are, we forget how uplifting or healing, or it can just offer something to somebody who may be in that moment of despair or lost or feeling alone. So remember that you are all healers, and if you just like to go into your own quiet place of meditation, and this is a time where you can say your own inner prayer, send the healing out to where you feel it's needed most. And also remember those people that have perhaps passed the spirit but are with us still. This is your time too. Take healing for yourself. This is about self-care, self-love, and that's important too, because if we keep ourselves well within, we have our energy topped up and we can offer more to the world. To come back to being aware in the room, and if you've drifted off, just wriggle your toes and fingers so we know that you're back here with us. And it's time now to ask Laurie if you'd like to give an address, please.
Would I like to?
Well, we invite Lawrence to give you an address. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Again, good morning, everybody. I'm going to sit down. I want to be comfortable today. I don't want to stand up here talking at people. You know, this is very much a time now where we need to talk with each other and get that understanding of where we are. You know, I said a few years ago in 2020, I compared the events of the time. I said, this is almost biblical in some of the things that are happening within the world. You know, we're seeing floods, plague, famine, everything going on. And I still ascertain that that is, in essence, a lot of the energy of what we're going through. Because we seem to be going through now this time of revelations. There are no secrets. Everything being hidden is coming to light. The astrologers amongst us will know, I believe it is Neptune, which is once every 50 years, has come back into the charts again, and Neptune's energies are stirring the pot, bringing everything up from the bottom. And as all things, you know, we've got so many different understandings, beliefs, ways of thinking and everything. But that's our one core tenet, that everything comes from God. And talking about God and understanding God is something, you know, we a bit shy of doing. We have our own personal understanding of that phrase, the God of our own understanding. But everything comes from God. You know, if you look through the Bible, they talk about the 7 days of creation. If you go in the spiritual side of it, you talk about the Dayan Shohan, which are the 7 original rays. The number 7 always having a mystical attachment to it. But it all comes from that one source. It all comes from that one energy, that one point of creation. How it manifests in different ways, different philosophies, different understandings, absolutely fine. But the core tenet about it is all about love. And, you know, hands up, it's a bit difficult to find love in this world at the moment, isn't it? You know, we are bombarded. Those of you who still watch the news and everything, we are bombarded by they've done this, they've done that, all the outrage, everything coming in. And it throws us, because we are spiritual beings in this belief, this understanding, and with that comes an innate sensitivity that little things said and done can actually really impact us a lot more than other people. And I'm not saying that makes us superior by any means. It is just part and parcel of this course of life that we're on. But this time there's these revelations going on all the time. Every day something new, something new. Every day something new to invoke a reaction from us. Without naming certain things, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are very incensed about certain parties and how we react to that. But this is part of our spiritual growth. You know, I'm not saying we can't go out and do something about it, because I firmly believe we should be doing things about it. Not just sitting here being negative, just actually action time is needed on this and many other things. You know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, we were asked to put our hands in our pockets for poverty across the world. I was very fortunate. I was living and working in London when Band Aid happened, and I was there. And all this time later, it's not changed. Nothing's changed because of the inaction. You know, spiritualism, we have a rich, rich history of activists, of people who've really, really made a change to the world. Women's rights to the fore. There's a lady in America, the name eludes me, a very famous medium, who became the first, not only female member of Congress, but also a coloured person in Congress. Because it was in and through this understanding that we live forever, all right? That phrase, I know, is sometimes trite, sometimes thrown out there, but the actual understanding of living forever makes you view every day, and indeed this lifetime, this expression of our continuity of life, it puts it into a perspective. You know, we all go through things that are hugely challenging and think, I'll never ever get through that. But we do. We do get through it. And we've got to hold that little tenet there that, you know, we are like rocks on the seashore, that we will withstand all the waves. Change minutely. Every time a wave hits a rock, there's a minuscule change goes on. A little bit of erosion. Little subtle change, but there it stands. And we've got to hold on to that belief that instead of reacting with negative energies and just firing all the things that are happening in the world outside of these doors, is just hold on to that peace, that knowledge, that understanding. All things come from God. All these things are put in our way, put in our view, put into our life, put into our consciousness we can't control that so well, but what we can control is our reaction to it. How we react. Am I going to do something about it? Am I going to go, right, this needs to be resolved, I need to take action? Or is this something that I cannot tackle my own, which is absolutely fine, but I'm not going to sit here growling about it. I'm not going to sit here wanting instant recompense and retribution rain down on all and sundry that offend my sense and sensibilities. One thing I've always found in the spirit world, there is no sense of retribution, because retribution comes from an emotion, and a very human emotion. We talk about karma, and we know that the laws of karma work not in one lifetime generally, but over many expressions of our lifetime. But they are not punishments. Punishment is man-made. It's not come from God. There is no punishment. But there are the opportunities to learn, to grow, to educate. In a William T. Speed book, there was a wonderful piece of writing, and you know, this is coming from like 1876, I believe it was written. And the spirit world were expressing their opinion on when we had capital punishment, be it through flogging, whipping, or the death penalty. And the spirit world's opinion was very strongly on the side of education. Now, I know that's quite hard sometimes to grip, you know, because we do see things going on where we express that human emotion of they need to be punished. None of us are immune to that. With certain headlines of late, if you had heard the language coming out of the flat upstairs, you would be thinking, really? What does that word mean then?
Couldn't possibly have.
I know. But it's our human emotion. But we join in, we link in, we express these times of communion with spirit. And spirit is all about progression. It's a river ever flowing. And if you dam a river, it will find another way to come through. Life is a river. Life is movement. Movement is life. And it's going along with that and taking that truth wherever you can find it, but to express that gentleness, because everything is done in and through love. And although we may fail to see the love element in some of the things that come into our life, one day, sooner or later, you will understand it. So when we look at the world today, don't be discouraged. It's all here to help our evolution, both as a species and both as our own individual spiritual beings. So embrace what comes in. Work with what you can change, what you can cause an effect upon. And if physically, and if not, work with that spiritually. Let it go. Let it go peacefully. But don't let ourselves get embroiled in the want for retribution and punishment and everything like that. It's about education and growth. You know what? All these people that are offending our senses and our sensibilities, do we all fairly have an understanding of karma? Anybody not? That karmic laws are everything you do has a balance, it will have a reaction. Cause and effect, exactly. So if we go out and we live a wonderful life, we reap that reward. If we go out and we do other things, those lessons will come back to us time and time and time again, until it comes from here that you learn that lesson. So all these people, all these events, all these things happening within the world that cause us discomfort and upset. Remember too, the karmic laws, that sooner or later, the issues, the people, the whatever behind it, the energies behind it, will have to rebalance and make good. And that is their path. The only thing we can control is our path and how we handle things. So I'll shut up now. I hope you could take something from that.
Well, you'd be able to get Prosecco around.
Prosecco, oh yes,
So
please.
they adjust their behaviour.
Thank you, Laurie. So, we have a special guests here today again from our community, and I'd like to invite Sue, who's actually going to play some music for us. But first of all, I understand you're going to offer a few words on how you got into the music.
Okay.
Thank you, welcome.
Thank you.
Would you like to come over here so we can see? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
You are being on camera.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody online.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for inviting me to play. This is a church I've come along to for many years, actually. My first church in Bournemouth was the Bournemouth Church in 1980 something, and the church before then was a gorgeous little church in Scarborough. But I'm not going to talk about that and my journey in spiritualism, but my journey in music and how that my experience as a musician has intertwined with my journey in the spiritualist movement. So I'm a Geordie girl. I was born in a place called South Shields, which... Yes, you're right. And I started playing the piano when I was 6 years old. I went to a lady called Gertrude Ockleford, who was a very brutal teacher who used to hit us and shake us and pull our hair quite a lot. But she sort of taught me how not to teach. I've been a teacher for 30 odd years. So she taught me how not to do it and to understand that people actually don't get things wrong on purpose. None of us get things wrong on purpose. We're all trying really hard, aren't we? And it's difficult if somebody then sort of, literally bashes you on the head because of that. But anyway, so I then went on to play the cornet in brass bands and played in miners' welfare bands. So I was playing in the bands whilst the miners were coming up through the shafts and out of the cages. And playing all over the country, at the Albert Hall, at all the big competitions. What I learnt from that was, to work as a team. And I think whichever affiliation you belong to, be it spiritualist or Jewish community or a Buddhist community, whatever, we're all a group, we're all a family, we're all a gang, we're all a team. So we all might have different sort of outlets to our team, but essentially we all actually come together and we can all support each other in lots of different ways, lots of unexpected ways. As Sue was saying earlier, maybe just a smile to someone can really make their day. It's important that we all come together as a team and feel that love, because there is a lot of love. There's a lot of love in this room. There's a lot of friendship. We don't really know each other that well, but you can actually feel it. And surprisingly, I'm standing here for the first time, I can really feel that. So I played in brass bands. I went on to play the trumpet, and I went to the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama in Glasgow. And I did trumpet first study, so I then played in orchestras and stuff. Then I played in other sort of blues bands and had a good time doing all of that. And then, motherhood and all the rest of it. I didn't play trumpet for about 20 odd years. But I always played piano. I did lots of arrangements for big shows, for shows at the Lighthouse and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, So I've been teaching for a long time. I've taught for the army, prepared chaps for their promotions in the Royal Signals Band. They're not there anymore in Blandford, but that's, I used to work there. Anyway, so here I am today. I still play the piano. I run a pantomime group in Pimperne.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do. And I have the photographs of Ian in a dress or two to prove it. So,
Actually, far too many photos
far
of
too
Ian in
many
dresses.
photos.
Only weekends, Laura.
But it's great fun, and I do that because we want, when we moved to Pimperne, we wanted to sort of meet people and find the community there, which was really important to us. And we've come together with people from all sorts of walks of life. And again, we feel another sort of family. The people in the group, I say they all walks of life, and all sort of denominations and thinking, their own thoughts about their spiritual journeys. But that doesn't really matter what sort of label you wear. The most important thing is that we share this lifetime together, and we are of service to each other, and we help each other as much as we can. That's how I try and live my life. Don't always get it right, but that's how I try. So in my teaching, I try to, I've got, children this height and adults that height, varying ages over the years. I've always tried, I've never talked about being a spiritualist unless anybody's asked, but I've always tried to incorporate what I believe music is all about in my teaching. So not just teaching the nuts and bolts of it and the mechanics of it, which are really, really important, but the spiritual value of it as well. For me, music is a way of entering that other world. It's about putting your foot into that world and communicating in a very personal way with whoever it is you feel the need to communicate with. And music paints pictures, so you can feel, you can sense, you can imagine the picture in your mind as you listen to the music that will take you to wherever it is you want to go, or sometimes a very unexpected place. So we talk a lot these days about mindfulness, and playing any instrument means that actually you can take yourself off for a little while, and because you can't afford to be thinking about anything else whilst you're playing, because as soon as you do, you get you're gone, you've lost it. It's happened quite a lot. And as a musician, you just learn to blag it. But it's a wonderful way of creating a scene in your mind and evoking a feeling that can have great healing benefits to you. And then actually it can give to other people as well. So I'm going to play a couple of short pieces, okay? The first piece is called The Reef, and actually I had no idea actually what Lawrence was going to be talking about this morning, but he was talking about the rocks and the symbolically the things in life that we end up butting against, we end up facing. That is really, really difficult for us, can be really difficult. But it is in the reaction, our reaction, learning. We learn as human beings all the way through, don't we? The reaction to those difficult moments. So I'm going to play a piece. It's quite short. It's by a guy called Walter Carroll. He was a Mancunian, and he played a huge role in the music in Manchester. He died in 1955, so he's not with us anymore, but hopefully he might be channeling help to me this morning. Anyway, he's behind me. Yes, God. So it's called The Reef. There's some big chords in it. Okay, they are symbolically the boulders. You imagine this seascape, and the big rocks, the big dark rocks. And then there's some little interludes in the middle which will give you the reaction, maybe the thought of the water lapping up against those rocks. And you can imagine just your thoughts lapping up against those rocks. In other words, reacting to the boulders, okay? And hopefully it'll have a happy ending.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you. We look forward to this.
Make sure the piano's switched on. Wouldn't be good, would it?
Like going into a Zoom meeting on mute.
Yes. Again.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
If Ian can come,
Yes.
I invite Ian to come and give
Yes,
a talk, please. Another member of our community. And then Sue play another one if you
Yes,
will, yeah.
and for everybody to sing.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Ian. I introduce Ian. I don't know what he's going to talk about.
Good morning and welcome to everyone online. When Sue asked me if I'd come up and tell a story, something popped straight into my head, and I wanted to sort of, as my wife has just told you about her journey in music. My journey into spiritualism started 7 years ago. I was told I was going to be a healer. I knew nothing about healing, and and here I am today, involved in this church with the healing team. But prior to that, back in 2006, my father passed away, and he was very close to me. And excuse me. And a year later, my stepmother passed away, but she took her life. And it was a big shock to us all because she wasn't ill. She was 10 years younger than my father, had everything to live for. And because she'd taken her life, the whole synopsis of going through the grieving process was quite difficult, because there had to be a grieving process through the courts, and then finally we were allowed to have her body to bury her. And my brother and I decided to find something to say in her eulogy about her life. She never had any children, so we were her family, and my dad and my parents had three boys, and there was only Keith and I left. But the story really was about Madeline's love for animals and wildlife, and she used to walk the dog and loved birds. She was a big lover of birds. And she was a great lover of music as well. She loved the Beatles, the Carpenters. But one person in particular she loved, and I don't know if many of you can remember Johnny Mathis. Right, great. So you all know who I'm talking about. A fantastic American singer. In today's world, he would be the Michael Bublé for the younger members. But he had a song called Guess It's Over, Call It a Day. Sorry that it had to end this way. And we just thought, what a great song, how poignant. Because her life had come to an end, so it was very sad that it had gone that way. But it was the way she had ended her life as well. So there was like a double meaning, because the song's actually a love song about two people breaking up. But this was about her losing my dad and then losing her life. So this piece of music was played at her funeral, and my brother said a eulogy about how she loved the birds and all that sort of thing. This happened in October, and in December, it would have been her birthday. And I was sitting at home listening to the radio. Now, I don't know if you listen to the radio regularly, but I listen to Radio 2 a lot, and I never hear Johnny Mathis being played on the radio. And can anybody ever remember last time you heard a Johnny Mathis song? Very rarely.
Yeah, used to.
Sorry? Anyhow. Sorry. Okay. Did you say yesterday? Oh, okay. Well, but it's very rare though, Jim, isn't it, that you hear a Johnny Mathis song? And it was actually the day that it would have been Madeline's birthday. And I'm sitting having a cup of coffee, and the radio plays, Guess It's Over, we Call It a Day. And I thought, wow, it's her birthday, and they're playing the song that we played at her funeral. And something made me look through the patio windows, and sitting on the fence was a jay. Now a jay is a very rare brown bird with a blue flecks on its wings. And this was one of Madeline's favourite birds. Now, call me an old cynic, but I just thought, how bizarre. Now this was before I got involved in the spiritualist world and the family here. But a bird, which was her favourite bird, lands on a fence, which is a bird that would normally be in the woodlands, very shy bird. It wouldn't be one that would be seen out flying around regularly. A piece of music that was one of her favourites, and we played at her funeral, and it was her birthday. But not only that, the bird turned its head and looked at me. Now, birds don't look at you, do they, as such? They just land, and then fly off, sort of thing. But this bird sat there for about a minute whilst this song was playing. And looking back now that I'm involved in spiritualism, I realised that this was a sign of Madeline coming back through a bird, through a song, on a day that was special to her, just to let me know that, hey, we're okay, we're on the other side, and everything's fine. I'm with your dad, and happy days, sort of thing. And I think that the message really here in this little story is that you get mediums come up on the platform, and they do a philosophy, and then people come to listen to a story about somebody who's passed. But that person can always be sending a message in a different format, and it doesn't need to be somebody standing on a platform telling you. There's messages out there for us all, and it's a great way of letting people know that actually we've got our family with us all the time. And that's my little story today, and I hope it resonates with many of you, because I can see people nodding, because you've all got a story that's very similar to this. I know you have, because we all have, and it's one of those things that touches your own heart. And I'm sure we could all stand up here and tell a story about my dad did, or my auntie did this, and it's just very special to me, that particular story. And I think that's the story I need to tell everybody today. So thank you for listening to me, and
Thank you. I don't know about many of you here and online, but I could actually feel the goosebumps with that. It was just lovely, wasn't it? Absolutely.
Indeed. And Ian
Thank
and
you,
Sue, you both touched on, we talk about spiritualism, and we've just become so ingrained of, you go along and you're going to have somebody stood up here saying, I've got your mother here, and giving the evidence. I am not decrying that. That is the most beautiful, valuable and also that asset of our religion and philosophy that we can supply the evidence. But there is a greater mediumship, and it's called everyday mediumship, where things just fall into place. Things are in accord with the J. We've got J's around here, and I'm thinking, oh, please, one loud, because he kept pointing there and going, go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. But you spoke, you mentioned a word about the eulogy, and today I was thinking, a few years ago I had an idea here at the church to get a camera in before the advent of the online, to record people's stories, because one of the sad duties that I carry out on behalf of the church is taking the end-of-life services. And do you know what? Every single time when I am gathering the facts, the story to create and bring in and make this person's life be seen for that time, I am just amazed at the things that have happened. One lady, she had fostered over 400 children here and abroad. You know, and she's just a lovely little lady that used to come in, sit there quietly, you know, go away, and share just that time with us. And I often thought, you know what, we want to be celebrating people today, here, what we are, where we are, what we've achieved, not in a proud, boastful, arrogant way, but just sharing that story. Sue's story was beautiful, and I so want to go into the blues eras, because I'm sure there's quite a few stories there that we may like to hear. All right then, yeah, the face says everything.
I'm thinking about the panto type thing for next festive season.
Oh yes, we are.
Really?
But this is a demonstration of everyday mediumship. You know, we had not rehearsed, we have not talked about beforehand, but greater powers just bring it together. And it's there to keep on proving that continuation of life. So, yeah, I'm going to shut up now.
Brilliant, isn't it? I love these family gathering type services because there is a spontaneity about it as well. So like what you get is what you see and all that type of thing. And if I just introduce Sue again, who's going to play another amazing piece
All
of
right.
music.
So, yes, and amazing is the word because this is Amazing Grace. So, this is, in true panto style, this is audience participation time. Ooh. Oh, yes, it is. I thought that. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, we got there. So, what I want you to do, this is Amazing Grace. Put your hands up if you don't know the first verse to Amazing Grace. Good, fantastic. So, stop it. So, what I want you to do is the first time through, we're going to do it twice. First time, I'd like you to close your eyes and just hum the music, okay? Don't worry about the words, just hum the music. Just feel the resonances in your bones of your feet, your facial bones. Try and concentrate on that third eye and where that music is taking you physically around your face. And then, for the next time round, I want you to open your eyes wide and I want you to belt it. Alright, with the words, I want you to belt. So, I'll give you a little introduction. Alright, you ready? Okay.
for another.
Oh, did you?
So,
What?
would you like to play that again or something else for us?
I can play that again if everybody wants to sing. Does this mean you've got to sing louder though?
That was a practice run, everybody. I hope you're getting your voices in online too. You can sing in the bathroom or in the kitchen, having your Sunday
I'll
lunch.
tell it another time. All right, we'll do this again.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you, Sue.
Sorry.
We're going straight into singing. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Yay!
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you everybody for joining in. It's just wonderful, so brilliant. And now we actually have our resident poet, Jim, if you'd like to come and read some poetry for us, please.
That's all right, let's take that.
Musical chairs.
Right, mister?
And I'd say first to both of you, music makes the world go round.
It does.
My
Absolutely.
son loved music. He lived for it.
Oh, did
And
you?
he died for it.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
so
so
sorry to
sorry.
say. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're getting good at this.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jim, everybody. Thank you.
You haven't heard me yet.
It's always brilliant.
That's
You know-
happening in case we don't.
There's a lot of things that are missing in our world. And one of the things, like Lawrence said, with love, the theme I am writing about is kindness. How often do a person offer to help someone out? What comes to mind was a pregnant woman standing on a bus. Nobody would offer a seat to her. The same with a child, an old lady waiting to get on the bus, when four youths rushed in, pushed her out the way and got on the bus themselves. To me, that is like ignorance to kindness. And it makes my blood boil because it's horrible. And I know that with a bit more kindness, things could change. And this is a theme that I wrote, that I was inspired to write by my late wife and spirit, and I've called it Kindness. If only our world was full of everlasting kindness, instead of vandalism caused through acts of mindlessness. There are things in life that cause us to be unkind when we are the victims of a worried state of mind. How often does a person help you cross the road when lorries come your way carrying a heavy load? This is kindness we don't very often find. In general, gestures of help are left much behind. It may be a blessing for some, but not very many. An act of kindness doesn't cost a penny. The trouble today is that everything must be paid for. Without any money, it's quite embarrassing, just the more. There's a time when kindness will help you through, to give a person help with a love you never knew. Is it too much to spend a moment of your time helping others whose stairs they just cannot climb? An act of kindness is appreciated from a spiritual view. A helping hand from spirit will always be given for you. So even at a time when a purse is feeling down, any form of kindness is like a jewel in the crown. Kindness is like a gift that we must all share, proving to God in our hearts how much we spiritually care. It's a careful thought that we can only feel so much. If you drink, it will show the person so very much. Thank you for listening. Please help one another. Even if you tread on one's toe, just say thank you, sorry, but it does help in life. So let's be kind to one another and try and make this world a little bit better. Just a little things like that mean a lot. But thank you all for listening, and God bless you all.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Jim. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'd like to invite Laurie to offer a closing blessing and also the notices. Give us the notices.
I've got no idea.
Don't ask me.
So
Thank
if
you.
we can just join our hearts, our minds, our energies, our very beings, and just relish the atmosphere, that love that has pervaded throughout this church this day. This togetherness, this community, this support. And marvel also at the way that Spirit have woven each and every one who has spoken here today to bring in that same theme, that same essence, proving beyond doubt that we are never ever alone, whether it be our loved ones or those who wish to be our friends, are always there guiding, nudging, and bringing together signs that all will be well. All will be well in the end. And through and in this knowledge of spiritualism, our eyes and our minds and our hearts are opened up to that influence, to acknowledge it whenever we see it, to say thank you. Thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that help. Thank you for that little warning, because they are all there each and every day of our lives. And now as we draw this time together to a close, we give thanks for each and everybody here, each and everybody watching online, and each and everybody who has taken part to weave this story that has unfolded before us this day. Amen.
Amen.
Notices, yes. Wednesday, 3 o'clock, we have our second healing hour of the month in 2022. The healing hour times were so popular, we're going to try it twice a month. If it works, happy days. If it doesn't, it needs adjusting. It's very easy. But it is a service, a time, a gathering which is dedicated totally to healing. So we will be drawing on members of our own healing group. Nobody in particular.
Watch your eyes.
But yeah, bringing in that, working with that healing energy, dispensing spiritual healing to those who have a need. This is going to be a very big mainstay of this church going forward, both on the healing vibration and both too on the educational vibration. We've just enjoyed a very successful workshop yesterday with the lovely Angie Freeland. Our next one is on the 5th of February, and that will be taken by Arisha Pauline Webber and Colour and Your Mediumship. This church is going to have a brilliant year this year, I just know it. It's going to be grow and grow and grow, and it's all done through your love, your support, your commitment. The people who turned up early this morning, including Sue. Now, Sue, those of you who don't know Sue, there is only one 10 o'clock, and that's at night in a day. There is no such thing as a 10 in the morning. It didn't exist.
No, it didn't.
But yeah, it's just an absolute joy to be here and be part of this time with this brilliant church. Online, we have meditations on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, Monday night at 7 o'clock. We do have a live tonight online at 6 o'clock. It's a quick introduction to Darren Turner. Darren is coming to us from near Weston-super-Mare, and he will be holding a course of 6 workshops dedicated to expanding and understanding your psychic abilities. Now, I know some people say, oh, is it just psychic? Well, I've seen some amazing psychics. It doesn't matter what your gift is, all right? Just be good at it. That's what it's about. It's about taking your gift and being good with it. Psychics, you can understand people, you can understand situations, you can work with energies, you can work within the healing realms using your psychic abilities. There's nothing to be sniffed at. Each and every gift that we have available to us has its place and its time to be worked with. So Darren will be holding these 6 workshops over 3 months to help you enhance and understand your psychic work, and also to help you understand when you are working psychically, because how often do we go through life going on a gut feeling? Ooh, that doesn't feel right. No, no, no. But it's actually understanding what that gut feeling is and where it's coming from and how to enhance it. So we've got a little chat with Darren tonight online at 6 o'clock. Next Saturday, we have the lovely Angela Foster who will be doing a StreamYard presentation at 7 o'clock, part of our Lyceum services. And she will actually be talking about the Lyceums, where they came from, how they evolved, where we are now with them, and what the future may hold. So lots going on in your little church, in this little corner of this beautiful country. So thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to say thank you everybody who's been here today, and we have some food available afterwards if you like. Thank you everybody online. I'd like to thank Pauline as well, our online moderator. Todd, who's amazing job working the camera over there, even picking up Sue over here with her piano.
Yes.
Yes. And thank you Ian, Sue, and thank you Jim.
Pleasure.
And thank you Laurie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody. Wonderful. Thank you. It's a wonderful energy here, and it's always a joy, isn't it? Just to walk in here and just share the energy. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Food.
Yes.
Food
Carry
if you
on,
would like.
Macbeth. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.